There are stars. There are superstars. And then there are those rare players who hit the playoffs and transcend basketball itself. They don't just dominate, and they bend the game. We're talking entire playoff runs so insane, they made the league look like their personal highlight reel. These are the NBA players who went full God mode. The regular season is a grind, 82 games of pace, rest days, and stat chasing. But the playoffs? That's survival. Every possession, every turnover, every bucket matters. Some players fold under pressure, but a few, they rise higher. They stop being athletes and start being forces of nature. So today, we're breaking down the runs where players reached a level of dominance that defied logic. This isn't about one clutch shot. It's about entire postseasons where mortals turn divine. Let's dive in. Hakeem Olajuwon, the 1995 Heart of a Champion Tour. Let's start with a man whose entire game was poetry in motion, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. 1995 was supposed to be the Rockets' hangover year. They were the defending champs, but they barely scraped into the playoffs as a 6th seed. The narrative was set. They were finished, a one-year wonder. Except, no one told Hakeem that. From the opening round, he unleashed a masterclass in skill, footwork, and mental toughness. Round 1, the 60-win Utah Jazz, led by Karl Malone and John Stockton, gone in 5 games. Round 2, Charles Barkley and the Suns, a physical, fiery team that pushed Houston to 7. Down 3-1, Hakeem rallied the Rockets and closed the series with back-to-back masterpieces. Then came the Western Conference Finals, Hakeem versus David Robinson, the freshly minted MVP versus the reigning Finals MVP. They even handed Robinson the trophy before Game 1. You can see the smirk on Hakeem's face in the footage. He took that personally on a cellular level. What followed was pure basketball humiliation. Hakeem averaged 35 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists, hitting impossible fadeaways, pump-faking defenders into another dimension, and blocking shots like it was second nature. Robinson was the MVP on paper, but by the end of that series, he looked like the student, not the teacher. And then, the finals. Enter a 23-year-old Shaquille O'Neal. Bigger, stronger, faster. Didn't matter. The Dream schooled him too. 4 games, sweep, averaged 33 points and 10 boards for the entire postseason. That year, Hakeem didn't just defend a title, he earned eternal respect. He faced 4 Hall of Famers in 4 straight series and beat them all. That 1995 run wasn't luck or even just dominance. It was basketball as an art form. He didn't shout, he didn't showboat, he just destroyed you beautifully. Shaquille O'Neal, the 2000 Millennium Apocalypse. Now, where Hakeem was finesse and grace, Shaq in 2000 was biblical chaos. If Olajuwon was a dream, Shaq was a nightmare. He had already been great for years. All-NBA, All-Star, unstoppable in flashes. But in 2000, something clicked. He showed up to the playoffs looking like he'd unlocked a cheat code labeled Godzilla Mode. Fresh off his first MVP, Shaq rolled into the postseason like he had a personal vendetta against every rim in America. There was no guarding him, you just prayed to survive. Against the Kings, he averaged 29 and 17. Against Portland in the conference finals, another 27 and 13, including a Game 7 alley-oop dunk that nearly ripped the Staples Center roof off and birthed a dynasty in one moment. And then came the finals versus the Indiana Pacers. Shaq averaged 38 points and 17 rebounds on nearly 60% shooting. Those are video game numbers. He didn't just win the finals MVP, he absorbed it like a Thanos Infinity Stone. Every possession started with a double team and ended with someone getting dunked on. You couldn't foul him enough, you couldn't contain him, and you sure couldn't match his energy. This was the start of the Lakers' three-peat, a dynasty built on a man so dominant the league literally had to change rules just to slow him down. Shaq in 2000 wasn't playing basketball, he was conducting a demolition tour. Alright, pause for a second. We've seen finesse, we've seen destruction, but we're not done. Before we reveal the final 2, who's your playoff god? Drop it in the comments. And if you say 2018 LeBron, I won't even argue. Make sure you subscribe, because the next 2 runs are straight mythological. LeBron James, the 2016 Promise Keeper. When it comes to playoff runs, 2016 LeBron James is like a cinematic epic. The hero returns home, faces unbeatable odds, and rewrites history. The Cavs weren't just chasing a title, they were chasing redemption. LeBron had left, been hated, returned, and now carried an entire city's hope on his shoulders. And waiting for him, the 73-9 Golden State Warriors, fresh off the best regular season ever. After 4 games, the Cavs were down 3-1. The series looked over, the memes were ready, and then LeBron decided, nope, not happening. In Game 5, on the road, he dropped 41 points. In Game 6, another 41. And it wasn't just scoring, it was leadership, defense, shot blocking, passing. He was a human Swiss Army knife made of muscle and spite. Then came Game 7, maybe the most intense finals game ever played. You know the play, the block. A full court sprint, a perfect chase down, a moment that froze time. That single sequence defined an entire career. Effort, timing, and impossible athleticism all in one motion. By the end of that series, LeBron led both teams in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. Nobody had ever done that before. 29.7 points, 11.3 rebounds, 8.9 assists. Numbers that look made up but aren't. That run didn't just win Cleveland its first ever NBA championship. It cemented LeBron as one of the greatest leaders in sports history. This wasn't just basketball dominance, it was destiny fulfilled, a man becoming myth. Michael Jordan, the 1993 grudge match. And then there's Michael Jordan, the man who made playoff godhood a lifestyle. Jordan had already won 2 straight titles. He was the face of the league, the biggest athlete on the planet. But by 1993, the media had started getting restless. They said he was tired, distracted, maybe slipping. And when Charles Barkley won the MVP that year, it lit a fire under MJ like gasoline on a volcano. So he entered the playoffs with one mission: remind the world who he is. He tore through the East like it was child's play. Then came the finals, MJ versus Barkley, Bulls versus Suns, and Jordan unleashed a performance so savage it's still hard to process. 41 points per game. That's not one game, that's an average over 6. No one before or since has done that in a finals series. He dropped 42 in Game 2, 44 in Game 3, and a demoralizing 55 in Game 4. He played all 48 minutes in the final game, never sitting once. The man was possessed. By the time John Paxson hit the title-clinching 3, Jordan had already broken the Suns' will. 3 titles, 3 finals MVPs. He didn't just win, he conquered. The 1993 run was pure vengeance, the ultimate reminder: MVPs come and go, but there's only one Jordan. From Hakeem's elegant annihilation, to Shaq's unstoppable reign, to LeBron's destiny fulfilled, to Jordan's wrath-fueled domination. These weren't just playoff runs, they were basketball earthquakes that reshaped the league. Each of these men had a stretch where they looked untouchable, where the game bowed to their will, and every future superstar still measures themselves against moments like these. Because greatness, that's consistent, but godhood, that's inevitable. Now it's your turn. Who's on your Mount Rushmore of playoff gods? Did we miss Dirk's redemption run, Jimmy Butler's 2020 bubble rage, or maybe Jokic's 2023 stat padding masterclass? Drop your list in the comments. Hit that like button if you pay for a Prime Shaq versus Prime Hakeem series, and make sure you subscribe, because we've got more basketball mythology on the way. Thanks for watching. This is ISO Nation signing off.